What you're about to hear will inspire, entertain, and keep you cheering for more. Youth baseball and softball players, coaches, and fans from around the globe join Coach Aaron and the field team on their journey to make the game even more fun and even more exciting than ever. From mound visits to dugout stories and game-changing plays, we bring you tips and stories from players, coaches, trainers, and more. Now. Make sure you've got your eye black ready, and let's slide into the action. On the count of 3, let's hear a big, loud play ball. 1, 2, 3.
Play ball. I think that was good, Rachel. What do you think?
I agree. That was a good one.
He passed. Well, welcome to the Slide Podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Coach Aaron, and host joining me today is Miss Rachel Garcia. How are you doing, Rachel?
Good. Just relaxing and trying to take off so much time as possible and just, recover after a long season.
Yeah, I bet. So what's next? Have you heard anything from the AUSL and what's brewing?
Not much yet. I mean, other than contracts came out, so just seeing where we go from there and seeing who all gets into the league again, and we'll do another kind of like a new redraft. So we'll see where everybody goes.
So there was a lot of ladies that actually came back and played in the, what do you guys call that? After the AUSL season ended, you guys did, what's that called?
All-Star Cup, I think is what we call it.
Yeah, there was some ladies that came back and that didn't play in the regular season that played in that. Are those ladies going to be coming back and playing in the season next year?
I would assume so. I mean, I think majority of the girls that were in last season will be in this season. And then obviously we'll have some new rookies come in as they graduate college. And
That's right.
Now that we're expanding, there's an opportunity for more athletes to come in.
I know. So are you training right now with the youth?
I've actually taken a little break.
Good for you.
I've been traveling since I've been home. So I haven't really been home for a weekend. And so I'm excited. This will be my first weekend home.
Hey, UCLA had a big upset last week.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
Did. I did.
I was pulling for them. I don't know about your quarterback, but I was pulling for them. But anyway, well, we're in October now, and there's a lot of kids that are joining new teams, may have just joined a new team, and I've already started to hear and see some of the frustration of parents, and already talk about our team's not winning. And Rachel, I'm sure you were part of some of that stuff growing up. But, what I want to tell parents that's listening and any of the players that's listening, listen, if you're under the age of 12, specifically 12 and under, this is supposed to be fun. Right. And, Rachel, I try to equate it. And I try to do this with my son and he vetoes me. But I'm like, we play Uno and that's a game. Right. This is just a larger scale game. You win, you lose. But right now at the age 12 and under, man, it's got to be fun. It's got to be fun. I mean, what do you think, Rachel?
Yeah, I feel like at such a young age, you have to experience being a kid, and sports is what's going to teach you about a lot about life lessons. And so I don't know, you got to enjoy being a kid first before you fully commit to something that's, going to take away your weekends. And being that young and winning and losing, it should just all be about fun. I think my favorite part, especially when I was that young, were the snack bags after games. I mean, I watched my little cousin play football for the first time, and I'm like, man, to be a kid, to be that little again and just go out there, no expectations, just have fun.
I know. And I watch some of these kids. My son is top number one I've seen, but he takes everything personal, and it doesn't matter what I say, he didn't do something right. And it's so frustrating. So parents, if you're listening out there, try sitting through a game and being quiet. Try asking your kid how they like to be recognized. Do they want to hear you cheering? or do they not? And this is something, and we're going to get to our guest here in just a second, but you may be surprised, and your child may say, "I don't like to hear you yell for me." Just do it. Just try it, and let us know. Let us know what you guys find out from your kids. So, all right, joining us today. You guys have seen this, I have to believe, just like myself, all over social media. You've seen Coach Rack with it. You've seen so much social media, but joining us today is Neil McConnell from Max BP. Neil, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So like I was telling you before we started recording, I see this thing everywhere, and it looks like it is just growing like wildfire. Tell us first of all, really what Max BP is, and when you guys got started, because I'm seeing it so much now. I thought it was a new product.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it started. It's probably a culmination of mine and friends and other careers that have. Everyone's career ends at some point, whether it's when they're 8 or 12 or high school or college or after they're a pro.
Mm-hmm.
And we've coined this term with the machine, the career extender. So the kid that starts struggling as the game keeps changing. So as you were just talking before about under 12 is fun. I ran a little league for 8 years, and I kept my initial joke was trying to get our kids to stop retiring at 8 years old.
Yeah.
But really how different is the game from T-ball to coach pitching to through 12 through that middle stage where you're graduating to bigger fields and the faster pitching, and then high school and obviously college and pro. And even at those levels, we've got guys at the major league level, and they said, even the game itself now has radically changed. The pitchers, the guys that are throwing fast and not seeing a fastball an entire game and so forth. So our goal with this machine really has evolved to this career extender. The more time, none of us want to retire. There's usually a gap where we retire and then evolve to some coaching or some capacity like I'm in now, where we get to stay close to this game that we fell in love with. But this machine getting you the reps. So whether it's a parent getting a kid great lessons, what are they doing in between? Are they doing the necessary reps in between those lessons so that the next lesson can evolve? What's the next one thing that coach is working with their kid on? Or is it, that thought really, or that idea really came from kind of endless messages we got from parents. And it would be the parent that says, hey, my kid in 9th grade struck out almost every at bat, missed just about every pitch. Between their machine or your machine and their work ethic, they are now, the first letter I got like this, it just sticks in my memory, a kid from Maine. And he became the captain of the team in high school, junior year, had all these great stats, ended up going and playing at a D3 college in Maine. And so his career is extended. So he was on the verge of quitting after 9th grade and got to be part of this baseball world and community that, my feeling was always baseball and softball, they teach invaluable lessons. Whether it's the game of failure or, in my view, it was always the how quick can you recover? So you make a mistake, you get a bad pitch, the umpire in your eyes makes a bad call, whatever it is. In baseball, you have milliseconds to recover, reset, to perform your best in that next second. And so to be able to be in that environment as long as possible, obviously is going to continue to reinforce those lessons that help you throughout life, whether it's an argument with a friend or a stranger, or you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off, and what's your ability to recover in that instantaneous second. And so to me, that's, and obviously there's so many other parts. Like when I coached girls high school softball, my goal was like, I want you guys to understand the game so you can go play intramurals in college. And when you go get that job in some random city and you don't know anybody, you can meet some friends outside of work, and no better way than, showing up and playing softball and feeling comfortable when you're out there. So
now you guys, just walk our audience through your machine. So it's not the big tanks that, we've all seen out at the fields, and, you got to use like a hand truck and stuff to bring them out. Like describe your machine for us.
Yeah, and it's funny that initially evolved because we had bought a large machine for an adult men's league we played in 20 years ago in San Diego, and we had pretty high talent. We were traveling, and myself and the founder were frustrated by not having great at bats that once a week. We were traveling the world working, and but then our problem was we couldn't even find fields to set up on. I couldn't even use the field at the high school that I was volunteer coaching at. So the idea was getting a machine that could get us high velocity reps in a small space. So it is, we have a battery pack, so it can work off a battery. It can also work off AC power. So you have both options depending on whether you have access to power or not.
That's awesome.
Another huge benefit that, again, we discovered some of these things by accident. Like we realized with the balls, with perforated balls, the practice balls, the wiffle balls, they have a variation in where they're located. And while our machine is the most accurate of the small ball machines, we still are sitting at about 70% strikes. So again, through our coaching experience, playing experience, one of the problems that we found with the high-end machines is they're throwing perfect strikes. So you're training your kids to swing at every single pitch. And that is not game-like scenarios. So, you want to practice more difficult than game scenarios. You want to practice, like the game or more difficult. And so, while those machines are great, they provide high velocity, high resistance, you're getting that variation. It's no different than when I would do tee work at just about any level. I set up a tee for someone and I always set it up in a really tough spot. And usually, especially with the young kids, they'll move it to that perfect meatball pitch, dead center. And I'm like, okay, how many times you get in that pitch?
Right.
And, and I teach them about playing the zone. And with the young kids, I talk about the game of Battleship and this grid of pitches that you're going to get and being able to react to those pitches as those pitches come. So another huge benefit of our machine is it's covering the zone and you're getting to work balls inside and outside and you're getting to go yes, yes, no, which again is an incredible thing to learn.
Speaking of tee work, like I feel like this machine, I mean, obviously tee work and using a batting tee is for the younger kids. It's not fun. You have to gamify, hitting off of a tee for the kids.
Yep.
And just like you said, you can't keep the ball right down the middle where like you're never going to get that pitch. And, but your machine, like we can really set up that machine. I would almost be willing to say indoors, definitely in my garage without having to worry about any damage or anything like that. I don't need a field because you can't find a field anywhere these days. Rachel, are they like fields everywhere in San Diego that you guys can go play at?
No, I mean, yes and no, but like some of the fields you have to pay rent or even just to give lessons on. Like sometimes they're always taken by another team that's already secured it. So, I mean, sometimes it could be tough.
Yeah, it's here in South Carolina where I live, like we got gates on all of our fields. Like, so unless you've paid the county, you don't get into that field. And having the ability to really get good reps in, sorry, Neil, this is my long way around getting back to the point but having the ability to get great reps in is super important. And that's the thing that I love about Max BP, is just you get quality reps. Plus you get exposure to different pitching as well. Like what's the pitches that your machine throws, Neil?
We've got the fastball in a variety of ranges. We can adjust reaction times to the slowest speeds to, really the math works out to 140 plus miles an hour, depending on the distance you're at, which is, far more than you would need. We've got the three different cutters, cutter, slider, curve from both sides of the plate. With the adjustable tripod, you can set it up for, on the ground to, up on tripod. So where you're within the softball world, where you're looking at a release that's hip to knee, you're setting up that tripod lower. Fielding drills, catching drills, again, adjusting that height so the ball has a similar trajectory to what you're working on.
That was going to be my next question, Rachel. I know you wanted to ask, right? Is this thing made for softball?
Yes.
So Rachel's
Yes.
a trainer as well, and obviously she's big deal, I think, in the softball world. So
Absolutely.
gotta ask that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and 100%. So we've been softball, baseball from the early days. We had our vision guru, Ryan Harrison, whose father, Dr. Bill Harrison, pioneered vision training the world, has worked with a variety of schools, UCLA, LSU, Florida State, just kind of a whole endless who's who in that
He
world.
said Florida State.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm a Miami Hurricane, so I don't even play with that FSU thing. So it's okay. We just won.
Yeah. So and at all levels. So it's critical to get those reps. How do you get those reps? And another one of the big advantages is less fatigue. So while as you're hitting those heavier balls, you're taking on more fatigue. So where you can hit, say, 100 balls, you can hit 300 balls with these lower weight balls. You can also use a variety of lightweight bats. So as you're building bat speed through the light, heavy game bat sequence, you have a variety of light bats that you can use that you wouldn't be able to hit game balls with. So really the benefits, and across the game. So we've got catchers at all levels using the games, working on framing pitches, blocking pitches. We have pitchers working on comebackers. We have fielders using them. We have outfielders. We have Gold Glove winner for the Chicago Cubs, won the Gold Glove last 3 years, Ian Happ, who was on the phone with me last fall. And he basically said, hey, I get better reps with your pop-up attachment and doing fielding drills than I can anything in Major League Baseball. And
wow,
that's because you can, you can set the machine and have it doing repetitions. And so if you want to do 3 sets of 10, how do you get 3 sets of 10? And how are you getting those reps and tracking balls? And, I want to work on going back to my left. I want to work on, catching the ball and working on relays to second base and so forth. And so, again, and then at the lowest levels, it's how do you teach your kid to catch? I mean, we used to use tennis balls or other lightweight balls and have the kids take them off their forehead and then getting in that proper position to catch a ball. Well, here now is a machine that can shoot endless reps, teach them how to catch. They become confident there. Then you're working on positions, going left, going right, coming back, going back, trying to get them to stop, backing up on their heels. How do you turn to the left or right and still track the ball? And so, again, being able to do that, the frequency that you're able to run those reps, nothing can match that. And again, in terms of the fun part of it, there's kind of endless ways to gamify this, whether it's, consecutive catches in a row or as a team catch. So
yeah,
I know when you brought that up, I remembered early on, like one of my least favorite things was bunting. And but I had a coach that gamified it. He threw a couple hula hoops out on the field, and our first 4, instead of him just going, hey, bunt the first 2 and swing away, and everybody's like, click, click. But he actually translates to fun and a contest and actually training us to where we want to put the bunts as opposed to just dropping them down, because it's that old, you never know when that's going to come in play and win a game. So to have that skill in your back pocket and have, in coaching a team and, you're in a championship game or something and you have to move a runner over, based on the pitching and lack of base runners and how you're strategizing is incredible to have.
Yeah. Rachel, I'm sorry. I'm talking the whole time. You have any questions?
No, I mean, I'm just learning about this product and it sounds really cool that you can, utilize it for pretty much everything. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Rachel, how often do you, during the season, how often are you in the cage?
I would say almost every single day, as much as I can. I feel like, hitting isn't something that you can just have a great quality day of hitting and then just take the next day off. I feel like you have to continuously see something coming at you to train the best that you can. So I don't think taking a day off of hitting is an option.
That's what I expected to hear there. Yeah. Well, I mean, and honestly, like this machine, I mean, I don't have one yet, but I think for kids, even that let's just say 10-year-old that's being exposed to a curve or a cutter, slider, like kids when they go to kid pitch, they're backing out of the box because they're a little bit more timid, and they're not throwing strikes. So like having a machine, something like this can get them at least used to the movement of the ball and the speed. I don't know, Neil, I'm kind of stepping all over your stuff.
Absolutely.
There.
Well, and one of the things we try and get the coaches to do is take the bat out of the hand. So if you're working on batting drills, a lot of it is the hand-eye. So taking that piece. And again, another drill that requires very little space. I mean, we have people doing as little as 10, 15 feet. You can do it down a hallway. You can do it at the hotel. I've set them up on a kitchen sink by the door and shot them across 2 beds and doing hand catch and basically preparing yourself for that hand-eye. And again, to gamify it with the colored balls, we sell a mixed ball kit, and the point there is to have the brain making subconscious decisions, and it's the same process in your brain that's recognizing which pitch. So and your ability to react as opposed to thinking during that at bat. So we had a recent speaker at one of our conferences who talked about if your brain is not I guess it's relaxed and hyper focused on that one activity, tracking that ball, and you're thinking about anything. Hey, mom's in the crowd or whatever. They said that distraction adds upwards of 10 miles an hour to that pitch. So your brain's ability to process. And again, it's at what level and what's that line? I know in the baseball world, we felt like it was somewhere around 70, 75 miles an hour, but past that, it had to be more of a reaction. So that's where kids that aren't loaded up in time, that's where, again, you're distracted and you have various flaws in your swing you cannot correct.
Right.
And so, again, what the speed that translates into in softball, I should know this, but I'm about 5 years removed from coaching high school softball. So I had the translations down because I always chant the baseball players would come over and watch our practice. And I'm like, you guys realize this is harder than what you guys are facing.
Yeah, it is.
It's incredible because I'd be like, this girl's throwing the equivalent of like 85 and you guys are facing 70 to 75. So anyway, back to my point of just taking the bat out of the hands and the hand catch drills of working on that reaction time and getting those reps. And then that goes, you talked about hitting every day. Well, what if you broke your hand or arm or wrist or leg or something that now compromises your ability to get those reps every day? And so you can go stand in a bullpen and track pitches, which is one of the biggest keys. You can set up this machine and track pitches if you have a good hand or you're just tracking pitches. And so again, being able to fill that gap, whether you're out for a week or 3 months or however long, again, we have endless stories of people that have used this as that gap fill, during injury recovery time, to speed up their jump back into the game once they're healed and ready to play again.
I feel like that is a huge selling point right there. Because injuries happen way too much for these kids. And forgive my lens because I'm looking at everything from a youth player, a 12-year-old perspective. And so many kids are, having to take time off because they, don't want to injure their growth plate, or they may have just injured their growth plate in their shoulder or whatever the case may be. And yeah, I would have to imagine, Rachel, if you took 2 weeks off of hitting, or a month, you got to basically start over. Is that how you would explain it?
That's what I would say. I mean, like you take that time off and then it's like the first ball that you see, like your reaction time is definitely going to be slow. So, and I think again, like even if you are injured, like your coaches are going to be wanting you to be participating in practice as much as you're capable of doing.
Yeah.
At least from my experience being injured, like that's kind of how it's always been. So I think it's cool that you can create this controlled environment where you're not stressing anything that could potentially be injured, and just get the work that you need to get done. And whether that's tracking a ball, being able to catch a ball, work on your transitions, fielding a ground ball from maybe your knees or something that is like just a controlled environment.
Yeah. Because I think that's where there's a disconnect with most parents is it's not, you don't have to remove the game completely in most cases. But there's options out there like Max BP. So Neil, who's your favorite baseball team? Is it the Mariners? I see the Mariners on your hat.
Yeah, it's funny. I would say I've moved around a lot over the years, and I was more a fan of players. Oakland A's that was my first game. 1981, Ricky Henderson, followed him his whole career. But now living in the Pacific Northwest, supporting our locals, having some guys on the team that have machines. I'm definitely on the Mariners train. My brother went to UW and finished high school up in Washington, so he's been a lifer and was with them through the 90s and kind of the, various struggles over the years. So definitely pulling for the Mariners big time.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So I grew up, I was an A's fan. So I was a Bash Brothers, Jose Canseco. I was a Canseco guy. And
awesome.
Like, the 89 World Series, you mentioned the Giants early and during their championships, I wanted to say, well, the A's swept them during that World Series. So it didn't do them any good, but I didn't say that. But, baseball's changed a lot, and I'm more of a individual player now versus a team. Rachel, how you look at sports these days?
I just like good games. I mean, I think I probably would say I'm also a player person. I didn't grow up having specific favorite teams, but I always knew I liked just watching good games. And I always used to joke around because every time we would go to a baseball game, like I felt like it was always the White Sox playing. And then when I started dating my fiance, I kept telling him, I'm like, we can't go to a baseball game and they're playing the White Sox because I feel like it's just not like can't watch the same team every time. So
that's right.
So they're big Dodger fans, but I've always just been a Shohei fan because, pitcher that hits. I mean, it's very rare, and that's why that's my favorite baseball player.
There you go. Well, and Neil, if you don't know, Rachel is an amazing pitcher and an amazing hitter. She was just at Home Run X last month. You said Ian, right? Was the Cub you were talking about? Was he on your team, Rachel?
I had Kevin Pillar and then Devin Travis as my teammates.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking that. But anyway. Well, Neil,
awesome.
Man, what's next with you guys? What's next with Max BP?
Oh, gosh, what's next? Well, really getting through this holiday season. So our mid-November through the few days before Christmas is our busiest time of year in terms of shipping. Mm-hmm. So we have the machines are debuting at Dick's in the next few weeks. So
wow.
They're rolling those out at one of their they have 10 of these new locations that are very interactive, hosting camps, variety stuff. And so that's rolling out at their Atlanta location. Gosh, what else? I'm flying to Japan in about 4 weeks, visiting our first Japan reseller that's based in Hiroshima.
Wow.
So that's pretty exciting. I had a couple buddies that played I had a couple buddies playing Japan in the mid to late 90s. So I had a couple trips out there. So I'm excited to head back. And as much as America loves baseball, Japan is like the next level. Like it's incredible.
It's obsessive. Rachel, how is Japan for softball?
It's just as equal as baseball out there. I mean, it's crazy just to. Yeah, I have some teammates that play out there, and that's pretty much their living is they just play softball, and then they get to travel.
Wow. It's a shame you can't do that here in softball yet.
Working on it.
So, working on it. That's right.
In the process.
Well, Neil, tell us how much this thing costs. Does this thing cost like $2,900, $3,000? What are we looking at?
No, so it ranges about $500 to $1,000, depending on the package you're looking at. We have two machines. So there's the original and the Pro. The Pro has some extra features like rapid fire. You can adjust the brightness of the light. You have the 3 variations on the curve and an extra high velocity at the top end, which my experience, the highest velocities for younger players are really the benefit in defensive drills. So the fly balls go higher, the ground balls come faster, and so forth.
Right.
And then there's various options associated with those. We have a couple packages as well that include extra balls, the mixed color balls, the ball bags. But it's really simple. When we did this, if you guys are familiar with In-N-Out Burger, they have out of California, they have a couple burgers, a couple shakes and fries, and kept it really simple. And so my goal has always been to keep it simple in terms of the options that we offer, and again, enable our customers with the machine and the drills they need to do. The machines have had lifetime warranties for almost 2 years now. So after 14 years of data, we understood the reliability. It's still a consumer product. There's electronic components in there that'll fail, but we take care of you on those. We understand with all these years of data now, various failure rates and what it costs to support that. So that was something. All of our bats, the better bat, our light training bats, the heavy bats that are handle weighted training bats, those also have lifetime warranties as well.
Wow. You know what? That to me, so I work retail for 26 years, Neil. And that right there to me is a big deal. So, and I do also understand your Christmas holiday season coming up because it's a madhouse. So,
yeah.
All right, man. Well, look, thank you guys so much for reaching out, joining us on the show. We're not done just yet. We have one last question that we ask every single person on the show. And that question is, Neil, you're walking up to bat tonight. What's going to be your walkout song?
I guess I love Shohei's walkout song these days. I'm feeling good. So
okay,
that's kind of my, I love jazz. I love that. Or what's the other one I would do? But yeah, I'm definitely more of I like relaxed. I like confidence. I like reducing my blood pressure going into an at bat. So anything that's gonna, anyhow.
Calm your nerves and get ready.
Yeah.
To
just
attack.
relax, control the controllables. And if you have outside influences that are helping reinforce that would be my jam.
That works. Awesome. Well, Neil, thank you and Max BP for hopping on with us. We're going to wrap up the show now. Rachel, any final words, questions, comments, or concerns?
No, I mean, I think I'm going to go buy myself a machine now.
Well, awesome. Well, listen, Neil, how can we find out about Max BP more? What's your website?
Yeah, visit MaxBP, MAX, B as in boy, P as in Paul.com. And it's kind of self-guided. There's not a ton, but you can also reach out to support@maxbp.com, the email, and we can connect you. All of our sales guys have coaching experience, most of them through the professional level, but certainly college level or have played college level ball. So they understand the work and, again, how that game changes, and will certainly help put together the best package for you.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, listen, everyone out there, I want to thank you guys for listening. Make sure you go follow Max BP. Go follow Rachel. Rachel, tell us all of your fun things that you have to offer.
You can follow me on Instagram at Rachel_00_Garcia. And shout out to my sponsors, Squares, Airwave, and Wilson in Louisville.
Yeah, Squares. I think we're going to run a contest with Squares and might do some custom cleats. I think I was talking to Chad. So some cool stuff coming because Squares is one of our sponsors as well, and we appreciate them. So like Rachel said, shout out to our sponsors, Stinger Sports in Fort Mill, South Carolina, Home Batting Gloves. Make sure you go get your Slide custom designed batting gloves because it's full of drip. Look, Rachel, it's literally got drip. So, and Squares. So, thank you guys very much for following us. Make sure you go hit like, subscribe, follow on all the social media channels and everywhere that you can listen or watch a podcast. All right. Well, listen, thank you guys again. And, Neil, until next time,
we'll catch you on the slide.
Thanks for joining the action and sharing our love for the game. Now go practice your swing, or at least look like a pro in the mirror. Subscribe and follow the Slide Podcast and the Field Team on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your favorite social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review, a thumbs up, and recommend us to every person you meet. Got a question? Drop it in your review. We might just answer it on the podcast. Keep grinding, dreaming big, and remember, there's nothing you can't accomplish. Till next time, we'll catch you on the slide.